As we pause to practice our principles, unity principles. God is. Get a sense. Open at the top. Maybe take a deep breath in through the heart and exhale out through the crown. And open at the top. That today I take this principle to a new realization, to an embodiment of God is. And open at the top, get a sense of that eternal, infinite aspect of yourself. Call it God, the divine creator, life, universe, whatever seems right and feels right. That which cannot be threatened, that which has no beginning and no end. Get a sense of that aspect as you. So be impressed by God. Allow God's impression on you to grow, to take hold, to deepen your roots, to expand the mind, the heart. So impressed by God, created by God. Principle 2, I am that I am. And my role then is to express from that impression. What would it be like for you to be aware that you're in expression of God's impression as you, through you, to you, for you? That we use this practice of meditating as spiritual communion. And the prayer of your heart. Not a right prayer, not somebody else's prayer. What is the prayer of your heart? Come to me. Keep me close. Align me. And then aware of the allure of the mind to leave the meditation, to leave spiritual communion, the allure of the mind to go into this morning, the past. What's for lunch? Where's my car? Aware of the action of the mind and then consciously choosing to return to the meditation. to God's presence, to life's presence, to universal presence, to universal energy. Lead us not into the temptation of mind. Deliver me. And then the fifth principle of action, that through the renewing of my mind, through an awakening of my mind, through an atonement with my spirit, an at-one-ment, awake to now, recreated, shedding old skin, stepping into new skin, I act differently. I react differently. I respond differently. God is. I am. I pray that way. I think that way. I act that way. A new way of being. I invite you to speak these words silently or aloud. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I am here. I am here. I am here. That concludes the service. Get a sense of this in your body. Want to stand back up just another minute? I saw somebody who I love named Charles, and he's not a young one. And when he sees me and people he loves, he jumps up and down. And I was so struck by it. Like, how's he do that? It defies law. Then I realized I could too. So I want you to jump up and down. Jump up and down. Keep it going. Who knew? Who knew that you could still jump up and down? Charles Geddes. Charles, mwah. So Charles, keep living your life. So turn to somebody and tell them, I ain't dead yet. I ain't dead yet. I am not dead yet. I can jump up and down. So have a seat and get a sense of what happened in your energy. What happened in your energy when you just jumped up and down a little? What happened? Some excitement, some joy, some shock to me. Oh my God, who knew that this thing that weighs this could jump up and down? Whoa, talk about God's surprises for me. And another one, I get to be here with y'all today. Not just that I get to be here, but today, when you're celebrating so much. Celebrating. Remember when you were in that other location? Some of you, who was over there? Look around. These are people that made the journey 40 years in the wilderness. And they made this trek over here. And you bought a campus. You bought a campus. And then you actually moved. Now, many ministries will vote to move. Then the people that voted to move won't move. Because it's inconvenient. It's too far to drive. It's not the same. Oh, Lord. After all I've done for God. So there's that tendency to slip off in that. And then a beautiful minister, 20-year minister, Reverend Beth, it's like, let's just bow to her and lift her up in her entirement and what's new in her next iteration and the foundation here created with her presence and your presence. So if you see the organization like a stool, so imagine a stool and what a stool would be like with just one leg. Don't think I'd want to stand on that. Then you add a minister and a board. You want to just bow and give a round of applause to your board of directors, your board of trustees that's been leading the way. And if all of you haven't had a seat on the board yet, do, because it's your fast track to spirituality. It's where every booger you've not ironed out gets to get ironed out. And then two-legged stool. Anybody here want to stand on a two-legged stool? But then you add the congregational leg. So a good strong minister leg and a good strong board and leader leg and a good strong congregational lead, and then thriving ministry, sustainable ministry. All while the industry of church is dissolving. 10,000 churches a year closing on an annual basis for over 20 years. And what are you doing, miracle makers? Yes. And look at all the ways. And then the good sense and your search process and the discerning and the prayer and the consciousness of getting a new minister. Yes. And it's her 1-year anniversary, which you'll hear. And it may be part of their surprise, but she's renewed. So she's agreed to stay. So that's a big reflection on you too, because she believes and has since the minute she spoke about you that you're her tribe. Before she was employed here, that's the feeling she got. So plenty to celebrate today. Plenty to eat together for today. Keep praying together, praying for one another. Pray for this one for sure. And play together, which I hear you do well, including these trips out into the community like your youth department is leading. Like brush yourself off and show up over here on Saturday. Go over there. Like sow some seeds with what unity's about. And as we go into this talk, it's like it's part of the message. It's like Martha Creek can reach this many, right? We have limits. And then Unity of Melbourne and Martha Creek can reach this many. Then those of you listening to us on the internet, you can reach this many. That says, okay, they do their part. Now what's my part? What am I going to do? So I take pictures with my little old iPhone, and it's not a fancy one, and I print them in books and on cards. Then I can put the teaching on the photograph, put them in a card deck, then hand them out. So you got one today. So see, I can sow seeds like this. So no telling where this card you're holding will go. You can have it, love it. If you love it, keep it. If you don't love it, find a place for it. Leave it at a doctor's office, for example, or put it in a greeting card, or give it to somebody you don't like. Just please keep this message going. Please be a part, a co-inspirator of how to get these teachings to the whole of the world. So when I was here last, Kay said, I love these images. I love this card deck. I want a card deck. Can I paint them? And I said, well, yeah. So look what she did. So she took one of these images that was on her card that day and created this. So that's her way of getting this out into the world. and it's hanging out there in your hallway, as well as some of the other images. So another way to bless, to create. Now that's the difference of saying, oh, I'm dreaming I'll be a painter. It's like, have you had a brush in your hand? No, but I'm going to. It's like, no, you ain't. And snap out of that and go do something that you have some passion for. And if it's painting, set your hind end down and paint something. And don't worry about it looking like Kay's, because if I waited till mine could look like Kay's, I won't ever paint. So I can paint what I've been impressed with, what my gifts are, what I've been given. I didn't get her gifts. I got the gifts I got. You got the gifts you got. You're the only one that got them. You're the only one that has that. Whatever your assignment is in the world, whatever you're here to do and be, is unique for you in that way. So then imagine today coming out of the delusion that you're going to have somebody else's life. How much energy is leaked off with your fearless inventory on what you didn't get? Their intellect, their looks, oh, that hair, oh, that body, oh, that job, oh, that house, oh, that. It's like, well, that's theirs. That's their assignment. Only they can do that. And then the more I'm over there living that life that's not mine, who's here to be in this one? That says my job and my role is to bring forth the gifts I've been given, to express what I've been impressed with through whatever created me. Then there's more vitality, more passion, more potential, infinite potential. And then our infinite potential is not leaked off on what I didn't get to do, or what I didn't get to experience. Instead of, well, they got what they got. I got what I got. And that's what I'm going to work with. Now imagine what that would do for your vitality to align with that. And then if we don't catch it, see, if we keep dredging the past, I say if you want more shame and guilt, refer to the past. Is the dream I'm putting up there actually a true dream for me? And then if it is, I'll find myself doing things in the direction of that dream instead of in a theory of the dream or the concept of the dream. So some of our dreams aren't true. I paraded around for years saying I want to lose weight. It was crazy. Because the reality is I'm holding up a dream, see, of having a different body. Then I got clear-minded with, now wait a minute. Is it true I really want to lose weight? It's like, hi, can I have half sweet tea to drink, please? I'd rather have half sweet tea than to lose weight. Have I been to a gym? It's like, no, just to pray for them. So it wasn't true. I was the last to know. So whatever you're holding up, see if it's true. And then it's like, oh, renewal. Then the world will come running up and go, God, Martha, lose some weight. It's like, I have the same thought. This is serious. You're going to die. It's like, welcome to the humanity. Something has to kill me. And I don't know what it'll be or when. I just know, I just know it'll be according to something beyond me. That. Then over time I could hear people want me to lose weight because they're worried about me. They're under a spell that if I weigh less, I'll live for infinity. I'm the holder of my own liberation. Get a sense of that in your body. And all the allure to check into Hell Hotel. You know what I mean? Oh, the allure. Like, well, unity principles work just fine on Sunday, but you don't have my mother. Like, there is no place for principle here. No, no, no. It's like, no, especially there. That we hold the power to say, even in this situation, even in this trauma, even in this hurt, even with that past, even with this torch of the mind, now would be an especially good time for me to align with this, to activate and to shift my awareness to the part of me that's infinite, eternal, that's immune, really, that's integrated, that can't be threatened. If we have choice, that's another sermon. If there's free will, if I have choice, then to have my choice informed by where I want my attention to go, to send my attention towards something that interests me, towards something that I want to know that I'm going to be impressing the world and impressing the humanity and impressing this situation and impressing this dynamic with something. What will that impression be? And many of you have heard me say it. It's like, if we're at my gravestone, here lies Martha. She had issues. Here lies Martha, girl, she could complain. What happens to your spirit when you hear that? Like it's false. It's out of integrity with me. So then it's like, then I'm writing my tombstone today. So here lies Martha. She had issues or she had ideas. And Martha had dramas or she had determination, devotion. Martha could complain. It's like Martha made contributions. So get a sense of that and the power that you hold for that impression, for that engraving. Your families, world, community, neighborhoods, office places, relationships. And what will it be? So I brought forth 7 things that are really spiritually mature practices, emotionally and spiritually mature practices. And it's based in the reality that we cannot be spiritually mature if we are not emotionally mature. So I can stand up all day and quote unity principles and then have a tantrum every time I don't get my way, which I regress then to the 3-year-old that still innocently believed if I have a sufficient enough tantrum, they'll fold. And that's still running the show. Have you noticed? At times, and then your tantrum may not be loud, it may not be conflicted like in the face, but it could be silently fade away. Teach them a lesson. Shut down, withhold, go silent. So where's the hope for our vision and our mission to live in a transformed world, a spiritually transformed world through conscious living, if we don't grow ourselves up? If I don't grow myself up, then I've handed down to the children what's been handed down to me and you, us, as a species. I want to be about a different seed that's sown, a different idea, a different potential. And then we have our part. You have yours. So think about humility. These are the traits of leaders, the traits of co-creators, the traits of miracle makers. So I'm more interested in being a nobody than pretending to be a somebody or trying to be a somebody. That's not true. Then it leaves me then out of integrity with myself to keep an imposter syndrome going. Said, she is so out of integrity. He is so out of integrity. So for me to say that you're out of integrity is out of integrity. Because I don't know a darn thing about your integrity. That belongs to. But if I get over there to mind your becoming, to mind your integrity, what happens to mine? What happens to your integrity left unattended? I'm a mind reader. What happens to integrity here left unattended? So it's no little thing to say, yeah, that's a full-time job for me to mind my own becoming and to avoid the allure to mind theirs. After all I've done for them. Hooks out, Velcro down, that belongs there. This is a full-time job. You know, in painting, when you paint chips and cracks and breaks and gets kind of dull and tarnished. Have you noticed your faith will do that too? Like we'll fall into confusion or bewilderment. So what will keep your faith fresh? What would renew your faith? Until the subconscious is made conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. So something that will go, it gets me bolstered up again. I get a little wag back in my tail, like, yes, that. Make the subconscious conscious. Bring it out of the shadow, into the light. Freshen my paint. A passionate faith, a faith that can be lived out, lived from. The other one is trustworthiness, to be trustworthy. So who in your life can you trust? This is why they won't let me do marriage vows anymore. Because it's like, are you going to trust your spouse to always agree with you? What's the chances? Now, the people of you that are married are going, no. Those of you that aren't married yet haven't taken your trip around that mulberry bush that says, well, of course, I will not marry somebody I can't trust. It's like, we'll trust them to do what human beings have been doing for 2,000 years. That's reality-based trust, not fantasy-based trust. It says, you better respect me. Still want to get married? Okay. If you can say yes to this, you say yes to a relationship based in reality, not based on a 3-year-old's dream of a fairy tale princess. So I don't know. See if you can say those 3 words. I'm always willing for somebody to die over this. I don't know. See if you can say it. Say it another time or two. I don't know. So imagine somebody that you've been advising for 50 years, running up to you this afternoon going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you say, I don't know. Get a sense of the freedom. Because when I start advising, have you noticed there's no one to take your advice? It's the damnedest thing, ain't it? With all the wise advice I have, guess who it's for? So get a sense. Close your eyes if it helps. That today is the day that you've waited for, thought about, prayed for, and dreamed about your whole life, and that you're stepping out of an old skin. So imagine going at the top of your head and unzipping an old skin, old patterns, old notions, faulty thinking, false ideas, to all that you want to appreciate. Renewed, passionate faith, trusting what cannot be seen, a wisdom beyond my own, to stay open, teachable, willing, a researcher, and to cultivate clarity of mind. We begin again. Today's the day, and so it is.